What's going on, everybody? It's a non-spoiler review for Weapons. This is the new film from the filmmaker who made Barbarian. That's Zach Cregger. So this movie is a follow-up to that film. It's not a sequel, obviously. It's just his next movie out. And this one, again, it's a horror thriller. And so it's about these kids that wind up going missing. It is a particular time in the morning. A bunch of kids, I think there's like 17 of them, disappear into the night, and the town doesn't know what the hell happened, and there's one kid left. And it all happened in one classroom, and that teacher is Julia Garner. So they start looking at her and say, hey, what the hell's going on? What'd you do? And so that's her particular story. Josh Brolin is a father of one of the children. He's trying to figure out where the hell his son is. And then there's just a lot of other stuff that's happening around it. And I think that's the interesting thing to me is that it takes place. There's a bunch of different stories, not unsimilar to what they did in Barbarian, where there was, here's this setup story, here's this next story, here's how both those stories come together. That's what they did in Barbarian. In this one, it's essentially, I think, four stories that they all come together. It's like, here's this, here's that, here's a moment that you might have seen in that story, but now you see it from that perspective. Here it is. Tie it all in together. And the question as you're watching it is it going to tie together? And I think it's a resounding yes. I loved this film. I absolutely loved this movie. And I thought that, it wasn't on my radar because I'm not the horror thriller guy. If you've been following my channel, if you just found my channel, I'm telling you, I'm not a big horror thriller guy, but I'm usually not a big slasher fan and those types of things. Gratuitous just to be gratuitous. There is some gratuitous violence in this, and there's some pretty crazy graphic violence in this. But I think that it's all so engaging. From the second it starts, you're locked in. The music, the acting, the story. Zach Cregger is a star. He is an absolute star. And I've mentioned this in my Out of the Theater reaction. I mentioned this on my live show. He reminds me right now what he's doing as a rated R Shyamalan. We're in an era, and I've also said this 1,000 times over, that we're in an era right now that there are a handful of directors. Gone are the days of like the movie stars who can just sell tickets. Now, clearly, if you put a movie star in a big IP, that helps. It elevates it. But I mean more so of like, hey, there's a new Tom Cruise movie out. There's a new this movie. Oh, I don't care what it is. I'm just going to see it because that actor is in there. That doesn't really happen too much anymore. But it's starting to happen with directors, whether it's Christopher Nolan, obviously Scorsese, Jordan Peele, someone that you're like, oh, what's his next movie? What's happening? Zach Cregger should be that guy. Robert Eggers is another one of those people. Zach Cregger is another one of those guys, I think, that his attention to detail, the way he puts things together, the way he crafts stories. I know he's doing Resident Evil next, and I haven't been excited for a Resident Evil movie maybe ever, and now I am, because of the way that he puts together these stories. You feel like he's having fun making movies. He loves to make movies. At least that's the way it's coming across when you see the way that this is put together, because you have to, first of all, say, okay, here's our main character in Julia Garner. What's her story? What's her backstory? That's what I like. I like when the characters are so developed and they have these flaws or other things that you really understand them. It's listed as a psychological horror, and it's a perfect, absolutely perfect description for it. It is. It's a mind bend. It's these. You're kind of wondering what the hell is going on. How is this happening? That this kid, where is this? And then there was a gasp in the theater when they're setting these things up, and then one particular moment happens, and the whole theater gasped. And I was like, you know why they did that? Is because you made this particular event so important and such a mystery, and you're locked into it just wondering what is happening, that when you finally get a little crumb of a detail, you're like, oh, thank you. And when you get that crumb, it's so satisfying. And you keep getting those crumbs until you get a full meal at the very end. And that is what I loved about this movie. And I kept thinking about it. And as I mentioned to you, it's very rare for me that I want to go back and watch movies in general in the theater. And this is what I want to see in the theater. People have been asking me if you should see this IMAX. I did not see this in IMAX. I can't tell you I didn't think that I needed to. It didn't feel like an IMAX experience, but don't quote me on that. You could see it in IMAX. This absolutely was. The sound is great. The chemistry that really works is Josh Brolin. He's a producer on the film also, and Julia Garner. Their chemistry really works. You see it. I think there's a scene that's been going around that I saw, unfortunately, on Instagram right before I saw the movie. I was already on my way to see the movie, or it was the day before, and it popped into my feed. I didn't even realize it was from this film, and I watched it. I was like, well, that's creepy. What movie is that from? And it's like, oh, it's Weapons. I'm like, no, I'm going to see it tomorrow. I didn't want to know anything about it, because that particular scene, if you're on the fence about the movie, I think if you see it, you go, oh, I'm intrigued now. That looks pretty weird. If you're already locked in, don't watch anything about this movie. If you're already going to see this movie, don't watch anything. Just go and check it out and be in for the ride, because Zach Cregger takes you on a ride. I love this movie. I'm going to go huge. I'm going to go 4.7 out of 5 schmoes for this. The hell with it. The hell with it. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. I'm going 5 out of 5. What am I giving it a 4.7 for? I didn't have any problems with it. It wasn't boring. It wasn't slow. I'm going to go 5 out of 5 for this movie. Now you're going to say, is this going to be your number one of the year? Probably not. There's other ones that I gave lower scores to that are probably number one. How does that make sense? I don't know if it does. So let's say, to split the difference, I'm all over the map. I'll go 9.8 out of 10. But that's not 10 out of 10. Who cares about scores? I loved the film. I loved it. Thought it worked. Thought it was great. Excited for it, and I hope you are too. So let me know. Put your thoughts in here. Do you want to see this movie? Do you care? Do you not care? If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Thanks again. I appreciate you. See you soon. Bye. The other day someone asked me, how do you still eat well if you're really busy and you don't have the time? Yeah, I'm telling you, you got a busy schedule. You got all the summer plans going on. What do you have at best? A couple minutes? Factor really has helped me eat smarter. It's got the tasty chef prep meals. They're dietitian approved, delivered right to my door. And now the best part is they have more than 65 weekly meals. It's made for how I live right now, what I like to eat. I've gotten more ways to get fit with a real meal wherever the day takes me, and they really zone it to what your preferences are. There's more variety. There's more meals. You can choose for a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices, salmon, shrimp. Salmon's delicious at no extra cost. Shrimp's great too, by the way. I just love the salmon. You can savor global flavors. So for the first time, you can try the Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. From more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. You can feel the difference no matter your routine. I've been doing it. You should do it too. I'm telling you, I love Factor. I've talked about it the other day. Someone asked me about it. I was raving about it. We didn't even have a spot on the show. And I was talking about how much I love Factor. So you can eat smart at factormeals.com/Christian50off, but use that code Christian50off. Get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That is the code Christian50off at factormeals.com for 50% off plus free shipping. Get delicious, ready to eat meals delivered with Factor. Let's start to rave. Let's start to rave about Trade Coffee. You know how much I love Trade Coffee. So cold brew, you drink it year round. And the problem is you rely on grocery store concentrate on $6 cafe runs, mostly out of what, to me, I always thought it was convenience. But when Trade came, come on. Cold brew at home, it's easy. And it tastes way better, and it costs less than buying out. Doesn't matter if it's summer travel, weddings, weekends. My routine, I've talked about it. It's all over the place. But my cold brew ritual, that is the only thing that I won't skip. Thanks to Trade. They have the cold brew beans. They're smooth. They're easy to prep, whether brewing ahead for the week, filling my tumbler to take on the road. I can skip deliveries when I'm away. Trade is the #1 coffee destination for the U.S., both hot and cold coffee drinkers. They've sourced the best beans from the top roasters around the U.S., and now they have a special cold brew collection. I mean, come on. Plus, they've teamed up with 15 roasters to create a special cold brew bean collection that ensures your cold brew at home tastes exactly how it should. It's smooth and it's delicious. Love it. When they said they were doing this, it's like, oh, please and thank you. I already love you guys. Now I love you even more. So they sent this bag that I've been doing, and my buddy was in town. I said, hey, I got cold brew. Check it out. Brett, you know Brett. Brett loves it. Limited time. Trade is going to give you 50% off a month of cold brew. 50% off. That's around 60 cups of cold brew for 50% off. But you have to go to drinktrade.com/Christian. That is drinktrade.com/Christian. You get 50% off 1 month of cold brew. Drinktrade.com/Christian.